Fuck. Fuck. So, I haven't done one of these in a while. Originally I was just planning on talking about Five Nights at Freddy's, and then I was all like, you know what, since I haven't done... Sorry, I just looked up my YouTube. I was just looking at this, and I just see Get Your Money Blackmaid, and I'm like, damn. I didn't see what it was on at first. I forgot that I made this edit. Oh, that was funny. Oh, speaking of, there's somebody who commented on here recently. Or no, I think that was on SoundCloud. Let me check. No, I think it was this one. I think it was this channel that somebody recently made a comment talking about. It was a reply, so it's not going to show up, sadly. Here we go. Here it is. Have I gotten a chance? And that's for... Sorry, I'm just replying to this comment right now. So yeah, I tried. So there's this We Next, which is the original version of I think it was Silent Hill, if I remember correctly. It's the original version of Silent Hill off of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and so We Next was made. Who fucking knows? But assumedly, months, years before Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers actually came out. And it was the original version of Silent Hill. And so somebody asked me to remake that beat. And I tried. I ended up asking for help from other producers in the Kendra community with the melodies, but no one ever reached out from what I remember. Might try again, though. That's not how you spell though. There we go. That's also not technically how I spell though, but who gives a fuck? Yeah. So anyways, back to what I actually was gonna talk about, which is I haven't done one of these videos in a while, you know, one of these deep thoughts with the Rat Man, whatever the fuck. But I just kind of like fell into a rabbit hole of Five Nights at Freddy's all over again. I watched like a couple videos on it, and I was rewatching that one dude who did a retrospective on the entire series. What the fuck was his name again? You know, that like 4-hour video. Which originally was like 4 different videos. Sagan Hawks, I think is the one. Yeah, Sagan Hawks. That guy who compiled his series into a whole 4-hour video. I actually watched the original series when he was uploading it. And so the retrospective popped back up in my feed because I was rewatching and watching new videos on like the Five Nights at Freddy's video games and whatnot. Mostly I was watching videos about like the gameplay and whatnot, but it got me thinking about how I feel like the theory community has just been wrong in their approach on creating theories for the original games. Everything past, like, I would say the original 4 should be considered a separate entity from what came after, and then Sister Location and so like Sister Location, Ultimate Custom Night, and Pizzeria Sim should also be considered their own thing. So you have like the original quadrilogy, then you have it's almost like Star Wars in a way. You then have the sequel trilogy. And then you have the new games. And I think the new games are honestly completely separate in lore from what was originally being talked about, especially in the first 4 games. And so what I think people need to honestly do is they need to get into the headspace of Scott Cawthon when he was making those games, and they need to realize, you know, none of this was planned out from the beginning. And I think, so this sort of like going to be a test, in a way, a test run of a series that I might do, where I create my own theories, but like going through each of the games as they were made, you know, creating my theory of what the story was at that time, but specifically what the story was at that time and not taking into account what comes out later, or at least not really taking into account what comes in later, focusing more on what was said in those games and creating a theory of what the story was at the time for that. And then probably like doing, so it'd be like, you know, 6-part series, possibly, probably 7-part series, because I think in the 7th part, I would probably then talk about all of the games and what I think the story is at the end. Because this is the thing that you have to realize, is that motherfucking Scott Cawthon did not plan it out from the beginning. It was almost, he pretty much, the lore at least, is like kitchen sink shit, you know? It was just like, oh yeah, this would be cool to put into this game. There wasn't actually like a thought out story, necessarily. He was just doing what he thought would be interesting. I still think he had an idea of a story in the first game with the newspaper snippets that you would see and whatnot, but I don't think Purple Guy or any of that shit was planned out, you know? I honestly think that he was just like, this would be, you know, it's a creepy game about animatronics and whatnot. Why not have an explanation of why the animatronics act that way? And that's why he threw in the dead kids angle. And that was kind of it. There wasn't like much more of a reason than that for having all of that. And that gets me to the it's me. This is the thing that, like, I think this is the one thing that has really never been explained. You can point to the Bite of 87. That one's never been explained. That one's never going to be explained. But I think It's Me is another thing that has never been explained and is never going to be explained. So what I want to try and do right now is give my own take on what I think it was based on only Five Nights at Freddy's 1. So what I think of, what I think Scott Cawthon was doing at the time with that. And it is my, 1 second. Yeah, that does reset it. Okay. Awesome. So I can't do that. Okay. Sorry about that. You probably heard the mic get really quiet all of a sudden. But now it should be back to normal. So anyways, I started blasting. So my thought process on what the original, like, reason behind It's Me is it's actually the children trying to tell you, the security guard, hey, we're in these animatronics. It's us. We're the dead children. I think that's what it was. I don't think there was anything else. You know, anybody who tries to like go like, oh, it's actually this, which is brought up in a later game. Scott Cawthon wasn't thinking about those later games. So if you really think about what it probably meant at that time, it probably just was the dead children going, it's me. I'm in this animatronic. I'm a dead child in this animatronic. And I feel like if people started looking at the games in that way, ignoring everything in the future games and only looking at what was in those current games and building off of that and getting into the headspace of Scott Cawthon at the time, I almost said Scawthon, then I definitely think solving the original 4 or 6 games would be a lot easier. And we probably would have them solved, except for the Bite of 87. I don't think that one is even possible to solve, although I do have my own thoughts on that. And my thought processes were all wrong about Five Nights at Freddy's 4, and that it actually does take place in 1987. And Five Nights at Freddy's 2... So I think Five Nights at Freddy's 2 was purposely set in 1987 to solve the Bite of 87. And then Scott Cawthon was all like, when he made Five Nights at Freddy's 4, and you know the teasers. Was it me? It's me. You know, all those teasers that were very clearly trying to talk about the Bite of 87 and solve it once and for all. And there's a lot of, like, things you can really talk about with that. For instance, there's the whole thing that Scott Cawthon said he actually did retcon one thing from the original series. I think that retcon is the Bite of 87. I think the retcon that happened, and to be fair, the way he worded it makes it sound like it was a retcon that happened when he started working on Sister Location. I think the retcon actually happened while he was making Five Nights at Freddy's 4. I think Five Nights at Freddy's 4 was originally going to be set in 1987, and that the Bite of 87 was going to be the crying child. However, he ended up changing it while making Five Nights at Freddy's 4, which made all those teasers not make any more sense, and making the whole Bite go like, why are we seeing this? It's because originally that was going to be the Bite of 87 until Scott Cawthon went, never mind. But, like, that's its own whole can of worms. And like I said, I think if I sat down and I wrote scripts for, like, this 7-part series, I could really dig in and probably, like, get into that space of Scott Cawthon and really just go, like, this is probably what the story was for Five Nights at Freddy's 1, and then this is what it evolved to in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, then this is what it evolved to in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, so on and so forth. You know, you have to look at it as an evolving story and not a story that was planned out from the beginning. And I think that's where a lot of theories fail, as they kind of explain it as if this was planned out from the very beginning, so they use evidence from the older games to prove something in the later game, and I'm like, I don't think you can do that. I think you can use evidence in a later game to prove something in an older game, but you cannot use something from an older game to prove something in one of the newer games. Because what happened in that newer game wasn't planned out in the older game. You know? If that makes any sense. But yeah. Also, for those who don't know, I don't know if I've talked about this, like, pretty much at all on this channel, on my YouTube channel at least. I'm streaming on Twitch. I have been for a while now. I also have a Discord. I'll link it in the description. So you can join the Discord to get updates when I stream and whatnot. But that's why I haven't really been uploading YouTube videos or streaming on YouTube anymore, is because I'm doing it on Twitch, and my internet can't handle streaming to more than one platform at a time. It can barely handle streaming just to YouTube because YouTube servers suck. where I live, which is why I made the switch to Twitch. Also, Twitch is just better for interactions, I think, between, like, you know, the streamer and the viewers. You know, there's a lot more interactivity that you can do. Their API is just better. It's just downright better. I think that's one of the big things that is making YouTube live streaming just not viable for a lot of creators, is the lack of API. If Google would just have a better, more usable API, I think that's one of the big things, is their API is dog shit. It is so unusable. Not to mention how much it costs to use their fucking API. If they would just make it not cost a whole lot, and would just make it more usable as an API, like what Twitch has done, then I think YouTube would be able to grow a lot faster. If they started incorporating, like, motherfucker, they have mobile apps you can play on YouTube now. Why can't people make interactive apps like what you can do on Twitch? You know, have interactive panels on live streams and shit. You can do that. It's just way more difficult to do. And that's kind of the thing, is a lot of entertainment people aren't tech people. Alright? So a lot of them, you need to make your stuff very user-friendly if you are in the entertainment industry. Specifically the solo entertainment industry. That sounds wrong. Specifically in the content creator, there we go, the content creator entertainment industry. You have to make whatever website you're creating for content creators to live stream or upload videos to, yada yada. You have to make it very user-friendly. And I would say YouTube is user-friendly, but it's also lacking a lot of the stuff that makes Twitch better for live streaming, at least. I think YouTube has a better algorithm. You know, my streams get pushed a lot more on YouTube, I think. Twitch has gotten better with that, though. But yeah, I think if YouTube just made a better API, a less costly API, you know, they would easily be able to surpass Twitch, because Twitch, nobody likes Twitch. They only use Twitch because it's really one of the only good options. It's the only good option. Because if you stream on Kick, you know, you get the, like, being a Kick streamer is seen as a negative thing. So nobody wants to stream on Kick unless it's their only option. The only reason people stream on YouTube is because multi-streaming is seen as a good thing. Most people don't stream solely on YouTube. Most streamers don't stream solely on YouTube. Most of them multi-stream. And even with that, you can see that most of the interactions they have, they interact more with their Twitch chat. That's something that I've noticed, is when I'm in a multi-stream as a YouTube viewer, there's like no interactions between me and the streamer. They are more focused on the Twitch chat and whatnot than they are the YouTube chat. And obviously most of them have the multi-chat feature up, more likely than not in OBS. Using like Stream Elements or something, you can have multi-chat. So like your chat is condensed, so like your YouTube and Twitch chat are combined into the same chat for you to look at as a streamer. But a lot of them just have more viewers on Twitch as well. There's less viewers on YouTube because there's less reason for viewers to stick around in a YouTube live stream. There's just far less interactivity. Most of the interactivity you get is going to be through spending money. And that is something that Twitch does great, is having alternatives to spending money. They have bits, they have channel points. YouTube does not have channel points. I think that's one of the biggest problems, is YouTube not having a channel point system. Channel points allow viewers to still interact in unique ways with the streamer without having to spend any money. Which, and you know, the way you get channel points is by watching a stream and whatnot. So it is pretty much going like, hey, continue watching this stream. And that is like really lacking on YouTube, is anything like that. Anything at all. It doesn't have to be channel points. Just literally fucking anything, dude. And they just don't have anything. And that's why YouTube live streaming is just so bad. That's why most people don't fucking do it. I think what pisses me off even more, though, is in the YouTube feed, I only find out about live streams more often than not after they've already ended. I don't get recommended. Most of the live streams I get recommended aren't even channels I'm subscribed to. The channels I am subscribed to, I most of the time only see the live streams after they've already aired. And so, like, there's just all of these different things where it's just like, YouTube tried, but they didn't, you know? They just implemented it and then fucked off. They expected live streaming to be the same as just uploading a video, but it's not. You have to treat it as a different thing, because it is a different thing. And I think that's one of YouTube's biggest problems when they introduce a new feature, is they don't do anything to actually make that feature worthwhile and integrate it with the YouTube ecosystem. They just put it in there and just go like, it's here now, like posts and whatnot. I will say, when posts were first introduced, they actually were good, because they were interspersed in your videos and whatnot, and they still are. But yeah, it's just like they don't do enough when they add a new feature to really push that new feature as a thing. They try to combine it in a weird way, and it's like, you can't do that. You have to treat it as a completely separate thing. What's really funny is somebody commented on my Can't Top Like Us, Not Like Us Gay edition video. And I'm like, damn, is YouTube really pushing this video now that it's Pride Month again? I regret making that video, dude. There was something going on. I think I didn't take my Adderall for like a while. I don't even think I had my antidepressants at that point. Yeah, I didn't have my antidepressants at that point, and I had only started taking Adderall like literally a week before making that, so I was like hopped up on Adderall. Now I'm very much used to my Adderall. I'm used to taking it and whatnot, so it doesn't like affect me as much. But I was like a fucking crackhead when I first took my Adderall, I'm not gonna lie. Shit was crazy. But now I'm doing fine. Now it's just like I can actually function properly as a human being. But yeah, by the time this video goes up, I will probably already be streaming on Twitch, but I'm going to be streaming on Twitch today as well. I'm going to be streaming Minecraft. I've been playing on a Minecraft mod pack that I made myself, which has Create Aeronautics, Immersive Engineering, Create Mod, a bunch of Create Mod add-ons. Obviously, since that's Create Aeronautics. A bunch of Create Aeronautics add-ons. Speaking of, I almost forgot, I need to add one. And I'm probably going to add in my own compatibility mod that I'm going to make at some point. to like make the crafts of different mods more compatible with each other and whatnot. I'm making it to be like a thing that you can play without having to go to other dimensions, so I need to add in my own mod that will interact with create mod for creating like, you know, like an ender pearl factory or something that doesn't require endermen, obviously. So yeah, the mod that I want to add is Zero Train Map. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know how to pronounce that. The mini-map mod. But yeah, there's a train map mod for zeros that I need to add. Antique trains adds an overlay, which, so this is the thing. Let me look back at antique maps. Or Antique Atlas, I think is what it is. Yeah, it's Antique Atlas is the newest. It is that one mod that everybody uses and whatnot. Or not everybody uses, but is one of the mods that people use. But the problem with Antique Atlas is, actually, is there a problem with it? Let me check. Map is generated around player by selecting a single biome to represent each chunk. Okay. Because, yeah, I think the problem that I had with the Antique Atlas mod is that it's only a map. It's not a mini-map. And I'm like, oh, that fucking sucks. But I honestly would rather have a mini-map mod where you have to craft the mini-map and, like, because, like, you know, I like maps in Minecraft. I think they're cool. But there's not a good reason to use them, and I think Antique Atlas, or the other one that I actually really do like, which adds a mini-map, is called, oh god, fuck if I can even remember it anymore. Let's see. Just gotta go through all of the map mods. Oh my god. Dream my first breath. Started praying. Okay. Let's see. I need to add in quests as well at some point. But, Zero World Map, Mini-Map Extras? What's Zeros Plus? Let me actually look at that. Ooh, there's also a mod that I heard of, and I need to see if it's for NeoForge. I assume it is. But it's a replay mod, knockoff. Knockoff sounds mean. It's a replay mod-esque mod. So it's based off of replay mod. And it's, like, better, from what I can tell. And I'm using the NeoForge port of the replay mod. But after hearing about this mod, I'm like, damn, I think I'd rather use that mod. Embedded, good news that shattered. Yeah, it was too cringy is the guy who uploaded it. Who uploaded a video talking about a bunch of client-side mods, and one of the ones he brought up, Flashback, that's what it is. So I might replace what I have with that. If I can find it. Damn. I haven't been able to find it yet. That's kind of the problem. Okay, so yeah, it's only for fabric. Damn it. And that's the problem. Is Create Aeronautics is not fabric. I don't think it's ever being ported to fabric. I'm pretty sure it's Forge and NeoForge. Actually, I think I'm wrong about that. But there's a bunch of mods, like create add-ons and whatnot, that are NeoForge or Forge only, and it's like, I don't want to fuck around and rework the entire mod pack I've been working on, so I'd rather just ignore it. But yeah, let me just review and confirm adding of Zero's map, train map. Let's see. Let me look for aeronautics so I can check and see. There it is. Create aeronautics. Oh, it's only made for NeoForge. So yeah, it's unlikely that it's ever going to be set up for Forge or Fabric. Ugh. And yeah, I wish somebody would make, because there's a lot of things that, like he talked about, where I'm like, ooh, I wish the replay mod that I'm using, speaking of the replay mod I'm using, it's Reforged Play Mod. And it's like, I wish Flashback worked with, which you can use Fabric mods on NeoForge, I think. With NeoForge, let's see. Sinitra connector. Let's see. I think I already have that. I do indeed have it, and I have Forgified Fabric API as well. So in theory, I should be able to download. In that case, I'm gonna delete, or I'm gonna disable Reforged Play for now. And I'm gonna try adding it. So we're gonna find the Flashback mod. So filter options, we're going to turn off the loader. Ooh, it does not look like Flashback is actually updated to 21 though. That sucks. No, it is. It is 1.21.1. That's weird that it's not showing up. What if I select Fabric then? There we go. PV add-on. So Plasmo Voice. Okay. Let's see. Server replay. Emote Craft recording add-on. Record Emote Craft emotes. Yeah, I don't know if this is actually gonna work. Because now that I think about it, like with Flashback and other replay mod types and whatnot, I don't know. I don't think this is gonna actually function well. I have a strong feeling it won't. Well, let's just try it. Alright, let's launch her up and see if it runs. Oh, also, I actually need to add back in a bot that I removed from my Discord. Which was a bot... Botrix? No, not Botrix. I don't think it's Streamcord, but it's something similar to Streamcord. Pingcord, I think that sounds about right. Yeah, Pingcord is indeed the one that I used. So yeah, I need to add this back into my server. Because I removed it because I was going to make my own custom bot, and now I've decided against that because it's just a lot of work. Alright, Minecraft Neo4 just still loading. Let's see if it ends up actually functional. Oh my god, I need to type in my authentication code. Codes, man. Dude, I hate how slow my phone is. It's so dog shit. It is like such a dog shit phone. But it's cheap, and that's why I have it. There we go. Ping cord hath been re-added. And then it should already have all of my stuff that I set up, right? Alright, let me allow ping cord to message in certain chats and whatnot. There we go. Ping cord hath been modded. There we go. Everything's good. Disabled due to high error rate. Probably it kept on erroring because it's still connected to my Twitch, but I disconnected it from my Discord. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so we should have... Let's see, did it crash yet? It didn't crash. That's kind of insane. Okay. Let's try loading into a world. Let's try loading into my Minecraft world and see if it crashes now, though. If it doesn't crash here, I'll be shocked and happy. If flashback really does work, I would rather use flashback than what I've been using. Man, I've really just gone off on whole tangents right now. But to be fair, I really only planned to talk about the Five Nights at Freddy's stuff. And then the YouTube stuff just sort of happened. And now I've kind of run out of things to talk about at this point. That's really all I had planned, was just like Five Nights at Freddy's, see if anybody wants me to actually do like a retrospective-esque series about that and whatnot. And yeah, I guess also like promoting my Twitch and whatnot. Wow, it didn't crash when I loaded into the world either. Nice. Yeah, one of the more annoying things that I found with like Replay Reforged is the fact that the recordings only get saved after you quit out of your world. And the saving takes so long. So, yeah. Yeah, I do plan on, actually, like, turning my streams into YouTube videos. Like, I plan on making YouTube videos in my Minecraft world and whatnot. But I think that means I'll actually have to re-enable the Reforged replay because I have a bunch of replays there. But more likely than not, I'm just going to be using a bunch of the Twitch footage because I keep on forgetting to start up a recording with Reforged replay. It's less that I keep on forgetting and more that I'm like, I don't want to start a recording right now because I'm going to forget to stop it at some point. And I'm not doing anything that's worth recording currently. And I don't want to have this 4-hour long recording that I have to wait to have Reforged Replay save, which is why I'm like, when I heard about Flashback and the fact that it saves the recordings while you play, I was all like, damn, I need that. Like, that is so much better. But yeah, if the Five Nights at Freddy's videos are something you guys would be interested in, I'm definitely down to do that. And yeah, catch me streaming on Twitch and whatnot, because more likely than not, I'm not going to be uploading YouTube videos all that often anymore. I mean, shit. If we ignore the last video that I made, okay, never mind. If we ignore all of the ones where it's just me blabbing like this in an unedited form, the last, like, edited video I did was a long time ago. I guess why in the bloody hell does Camilla know you? But, like, if we ignore that one, the last, like, video I made was probably my last challenge video that I did. Which was, oh no, there's The Stranger They Are, which I never finished uploading and I don't have the recordings anymore. But that was May 29th of 2025. Yeah. Quite a while ago. Literally a year ago. I mean, over a year ago, actually. But yeah. Yeah, my last, like, proper video was over a year ago. Everything else has just been either shit posts, clips, or these Deep Thoughts with Ratman type videos. So yeah. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.